In 2 days, Donald Trump will be president. In 2 days, Donald Trump will be sworn into office. In 2 days, Joe Biden will peacefully transfer over power to Donald Trump, and we will have President Trump. And I will rant and rave and scream and yell about President Trump for the next 4 years. But right now, I just need to get out all of my grievances against Biden because I really hate Biden. I hate him. I will never forgive him for running again. I will never forgive him for being the reason why Donald Trump is allowed to have a term too. I hate Joe Biden. In context, in a vacuum, very successful president. I'm very supportive of his climate change. I'm very supportive of his CHIPS Act. I'm very supportive of his Infrastructure Act. I'm very supportive of his policies in a vacuum. In the context of you were elected to be the antithesis to Donald Trump and you did no such thing. He failed miserably.
It's going to be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share. We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year term limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office.
Man, this guy's got like a real future in politics ahead of him. Oh my God. Wow. You'd think he was like gone where were you for the last 4 years, bro? Like where were you? Does this not say whitehouse.gov? Does this not say President Joe Biden? Is this not the White House in Washington? Where were you in passing why did you give us a to-do list? When you're what? I want to show you guys something that is publicly accessible information, okay? This Gallup survey. Joe Biden, you could have Googled this. You could have looked this up in addition to your internal polling, okay? Not only did your approval rating fucking drop after the pullout of Afghanistan, which I don't even want to debate that. It was bad. Sucks. Your approval rating dropped and never fucking recovered. Ever. You should not have run again. You should not have run again. You should not. This was well before primary season. You should not have run again. Look at this. Do you approve or disapprove of the way Joe Biden is handling his job as president? Disapprove is all over 50. Just all the way until summer of 2021. People didn't want Joe Biden. And Joe Biden shoved himself down the throats of America. Look, Joe Biden's approval rating was dog shit. People didn't want him. People would not have reelected him if we had an open primary. So instead, what they did was they put South Carolina as the first state in the primary to make his track to the presidency a lot easier. Our primary process is so complicated and there's so many people that are so much better qualified to speak on it than I am. But basically, Iowa's always first, and that's really powerful. Is what you need to know. Iowa's really always first, and then New Hampshire. And those hold a lot of power being very early on, because when candidates drop out of those races that are early, it narrows the pool for the later ones. So those early polls have a lot of power. So if a candidate scores or is polling super shit in Iowa, they're probably going to drop out right after Iowa. So they're not even going to get to vote in New Hampshire, in Colorado, in California, in New York, whatever. So you get what I mean? So they hold a lot of power. And so the fact that they didn't do it in Iowa this time, where it would have most definitely been shown that Joe Biden had no fucking shot, they did it in South Carolina. And it worked. With less than 30,000 votes counted, Biden was winning with 97 of them. Biden won. South Carolina was by far the most supportive state for Joe Biden, okay? That's so crystal clear, the reason why they made it first. Yet, what they officially told people, what the DNC official reason, was because of its diversity, saying that it better represented the party than Iowa and New Hampshire, whose voters traditionally went first and second. Our primary process is a fucking mess, okay? And the fact that Iowa predominantly, all of the early states are pretty white. So, we can have that conversation of, okay, they're not accurately depicting America. It's not accurate. But when you are trying to make it seem like you are solely doing this out of the goodness of your heart because you care so much about diversity, because you care so much about giving back to the Black voters that supported you, when it's so clear that it's a power grab for Joe Biden to stay in power, like, it's so inauthentic, it's so grimy, and it's so clear that it's a bunch of like white, probably Democratic establishment officials that are all in a room singing Kumbaya, thinking that they're solving all of the issues in the world with their white savior complex. It's, oh my God, it sounds so bad when I'm reducing it to that, but hang on. So look, like when Obama was campaigning for Kamala Harris and he was going on about how Black men needed to get over themselves and vote for Kamala Harris, he got more applause for that in the white states that he went to than he did in the diverse states that he went to. Why? Because white people have this weird thing that they like to think that because they are afforded this like privilege that they have to be the trailblazers for everyone else. It's like a white savior complex, right? It's not just white people with people of color, right? It's also straight people with gay people or straight people with transgender people. That's how we end up with fucking ACLU questions like this. As president, will you use your executive authority to ensure that transgender and non-binary people who rely on the state for medical care, including those in prison and immigration detention, will have access to comprehensive treatment associated with gender transitioning? Transgender people don't care about this. I guarantee that 100,000%, if you ask a transgender person, do you think that a convicted criminal in jail do you think that the president should be advocating for that convicted criminal in jail to also get gender affirming care? Like, yeah, people that are really fringe are gonna be like fighting for it and advocating for it. The majority of more normal people are not. And the only reason why we have a question like this is because you have all of these straight people, these cis people in a room sitting around each other. Like, we have to do our part and progress forward and do what we need to do to help these poor people that need it. No, they don't need our help. Sarah McBride said when she got elected into Congress, right? I don't care which bathroom I use. First of all, every congressional member has their own private bathroom, so that's just like fucking ridiculous. But also, she said, I didn't get elected here to talk about which bathroom I use. Like, I got elected to help people. Sarah McBride got elected to help people, right? So that's what she's in office to do. Joe Biden got elected to beat Donald Trump, and he did no such thing. And I will never forgive him for that, for setting it up so that every step of the way, all he did was give all the right wingers more and more and more ammo, more and more and more things for them to shit on. He would just made it so easy for them. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Donald Trump is a adjudicated rapist. Donald Trump is an authoritarian. Donald Trump is an idiot. Donald Trump has no concept of foreign policy. Donald Trump is just the most unqualified person to be in the position of the president. That the fact that it was even close, the fact that it was even a question, the fact that he won, I see it as nothing other than a failure on the part of the Democrats, because that we made it so easy for them to come in. We gave them so much ammo, and we cannot continue to move forward doing this. Okay, that I hate Joe Biden. I'm glad that I have that out there on the record, that I hate Joe Biden. I hate Joe Biden. I hate Joe Biden.